Hello folks, John Lee here down on the Vancouver waterfront. Behind me, obviously the I-5 Interstate Bridge. That's the core of the biggest project in the history of the Portland metro area, as they want to spend $7.5 billion replacing that bridge. It's historic, it's iconic, but there are a lot more issues that you need to be aware of when we talk about replacing the I-5 bridge. One of which is that they are demanding a light rail extension, 1.83 miles into Vancouver, coming right along here where we are. And so over there on the left, you see the Hurley building. That's 6 years old. The IBR wants to destroy that in order to put a waterfront light rail station. You can see the Burlington Northern Railway below it. Literally, the transit stop is going to be right on top of that Burlington Northern Railway tracks, just above it. So behind me here, we've got Terminal 1, we've got a 5-story building. Imagine 4 more stories on top of that building. The IBR team is saying that the light rail station is going to be between 80 and 90 feet tall above the ground. So we need to find a way that will demonstrate for you how high that is and why so few people are going to use that. So we're going to move from here over to Prairie High School and give you an example, because clearly if you're looking at 90 feet above the ground, how are you on a bicycle or as a pedestrian going to be able to walk down to ground level? They expect to have some elevators, but they're going to be normal sized elevators for office buildings, and that's going to be a problem, and we'll demonstrate that to you in a minute. Thanks. Hi folks, we're here at Prairie High School to help demonstrate some things for you about the walkway from the 80 to 90 foot high above the ground light rail station on the Vancouver waterfront to get you down to the ground. And so earlier last week, a representative of the Street Trust, a liberal organization in Portland, made a comment to members of the Portland City Council talking about it is 2,500 feet to get to the ground. Well, delightfully, local retired civil engineer Bob Wallace created a mock-up of what that will look like. Delightfully, he shows that it is a double oval path to get you from that 80 to 90 feet down to the ground. The distance on that, as mentioned to the City Council, approximately 2,500 feet long path. So we're here at Prairie High School and we're going to give you some perspective on what 2,500 feet looks like. So how far are you going to have to walk? It was estimated that it's 2,500 feet. That is just shy of a half mile. So I want you to have a visual of what that looks like. So here we're at Prairie High School track. A high school track is a 1/4 mile long. And what that means is you would have to do 2 laps around this track to cover the equivalent distance of 2,500 feet to go from the top of the elevated light rail transit station on the Vancouver waterfront to get to the ground. And you would be going down roughly a 3 to 4% grade. That will take you anywhere from 8 to 12 minutes, depending on how fast you walk. Now imagine walking that in reverse to go from the ground up. How much time is that going to take you to cover that half mile? Again, if it took you 8 to 12 minutes to come down because you're descending, it's going to take you 12, 14, 16, 18 minutes to climb up. Clearly, even if you're in good shape on a bicycle, it's going to be a long way to go. And as a pedestrian, as a normal person, you're not going to use that. And the whole point of this is to give you some perspective on the outrageous nature of what the IBR is proposing for the waterfront transit station in order to have a very long track like double spiral to get you from the top of the transit station down to the ground. And theoretically, you can use that going in reverse. Yes, You will have the option of an elevator, but why would we spend? How much money are we going to spend on this? So thank you very much for paying attention. As always, my job is to bring you information and perspective on how the government wants to spend your money. Thanks so much. God bless.